First, I'll show you how we can manually configure the ABC classifications on an item. This can be done from the Product Information Management module on the Released Products form. This is found in the Common area. Next, you can select a product and then click Edit in the Maintain group to enter the ABC classifications. The ABC classifications are found on the Manage Costs tab. So I'll expand the Manage Cost Fast tab, and here on the right-hand side you can see the ABC classification. There are 4 classifications available where you can select A, B, or C, or leave the value as none. By default, the values for all ABC classifications are none, and you must either manually override them or use a job to automatically update them. The value ABC classification is used to specify the ABC code in relationship to the item's inventory value. The inventory value refers to the worth of the items in inventory. For example, if A is specified in the field, the selected item is categorized as an A item that makes up 20% of the total inventory and accounts for 80% of the total value of inventory. Next is the margin field. For example, an A item in this field is used to select and categorize A items that make up 20% of the total inventory with high margins that account for 80% of the total marginal income. Next is the revenue field. An A item in this field indicates that the item makes up 20% of the total inventory and accounts for 80% of the company's total revenue. The last option is carrying cost. With the carrying cost field, you can select the options A, B, or C, and an A would indicate that the item makes up 20% of the total inventory and is in inventory for 2 weeks, so that means that the items that are in inventory for 2 weeks are expensed for that amount of time. So the total carrying costs make up 80% of the carrying costs for those 2 weeks. There's no rule that you have to base this on a specific length of time. However, you can base it on any amount of time, and you're looking to find the items that are higher in cost for carrying and storing them in your inventory. For example, items that are stored in a freezer might have a higher carrying cost than dry goods. Next, let's take a look at how we would automatically update these fields by using a periodic job. This is found in the Inventory Management module underneath the Periodic folder. Then you can click on ABC Classification to open up the job. When you run the job, you can select a date range of transactions that you want to consider. So I'll run this job for all of 2013 through all of 2014. In the From date, I'll type the starting date of transactions I want to consider, and in the To date, I'll type the last date. I'll use today's date. In the internal interest in percent, you'll specify the percentage of transactions that you want to consider. I'll go ahead and say that I want to consider 80%. For the A items, you'll specify the percentage of items that you want to consider. I'll consider that A items will make up 20%, B items will make up 30%, and C items will make up 50%. There's no rule that says A items must be 20, B items must be 30, and C items must be 50. This is just a common pattern that's used with many companies for ABC classification. Next, I'll select which ABC model I want to update. For this example, we'll go ahead and update the margin. You can optionally use the Select button to filter and only update a subset of items. If you wanted to update all 4 ABC classifications, you would need to run this job 4 times. It's important to note that if you have a large volume of transactions and a large number of items, that this may be a time-consuming process. So you may want to consider using the Batch tab to run this as a batch process and click the Recurrence button to configure at what time and recurrence it should run. For my example, I'll just click OK. Now that the ABC classification is completed, we can start to review the information. We'll do this by running the ABC classification report, which is found in Inventory Management, under Reports, and then Analysis and ABC Classification. There are two reports available: ABC Classification, which will print the details according to the selected model, and the ABC Classification, which will sort the details on the report by the inventory locations. We'll just run the regular ABC Classification report for this example. Here, you can specify the from and to dates. You can specify the internal interest in percent and enter the A, B, and C percentages that you want to use. When you're ready, you can go ahead and click OK. It's important to note that you can also use the Select button to filter the items. For example, if I just wanted to print a report of the A items, I could use the Select button and then select A in one of the 4 ABC code fields. I'm just going to run this report wide open and then click OK. Here you can see the details. One line will print for each item. You can see what their current value is, what the calculated value is, and what the total amount is. In this case, because we ran the report based on the ABC model for revenue, the amount that you are viewing is the total revenue for that particular item. In our next lesson, we'll talk a little bit more about the physical inventory by inventory dimension report.